Welcome to Stoic Wisdom. I'm Joel, and today we're diving into how to reverse the situation when someone ignores you. Have you ever been left hanging, feeling invisible? The more you chase, the further they pull away. But have you ever asked yourself, are you doing something wrong? Today, I'll show you 15 strategies to take back control and make them chase you instead. Ready? Let's get started. 1. Bury the desperation. When someone pulls away, the first thing that creeps in is desperation. You feel the urge to text again, to explain yourself, to make sure they know how much you care. But here's the hard truth. Desperation is a signal of weakness, and when you show it, you give them the upper hand. Instead of chasing them, you need to bury that desperation. Take a deep breath, hold your ground, and remember, you are in control of your emotions, not them. 2. Master the pause. When you stop reacting immediately, you're mastering the pause. You don't have to answer their texts right away. You don't have to call them back instantly. You can let them sit in silence. The key here is not just waiting, but letting them feel your absence. It creates tension. It creates desire. They'll begin to wonder, why aren't they responding? What's going on with them? And in that moment, you've shifted the power dynamic. 3. Disappear into silence. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength. When you stop chasing, when you stop trying to fill every empty space with words, you force them to face the absence of your energy. Think about it. When they're used to you constantly reaching out, you disappearing for a while makes them feel something they didn't expect. A void. This isn't about playing games. It's about showing that you don't need them to validate your worth. Your presence, when earned, becomes invaluable. 4. Rebuild your routine. When was the last time you did something just for you? Maybe it's been a while, but now it's time to shift the focus. Start rebuilding your routine around your goals, your passions, your growth. Spend less time worrying about when they'll text, and more time on yourself. Work on your fitness, your career, your hobbies. When you become so absorbed in building the best version of yourself, they'll start noticing that you're not just waiting around. You're living your life. 5. Forge the inner weapon. Here's where you start strengthening yourself from the inside. You need to build mental resilience. You've got to realize that their actions, whether they ignore you or not, don't define your worth. By focusing on yourself, your mind, your emotional strength, you become unshakable. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about learning to value yourself regardless of how others treat you. You are the prize. 6. Cut the fantasy. It's easy to create a version of them in your head. The version who loves you the way you want. The version who will come back and realize they made a mistake. But that's just fantasy. It's not reality. The moment you realize that the person you've been chasing doesn't match your worth, you stop building up that fantasy. You start seeing them for who they really are, not who you want them to be. Stop chasing a dream and start chasing your reality. The reality where you are enough without needing their validation. 7. Summon the power of mystery. Now, let's talk about one of your greatest tools, mystery. When you overshare, when you lay everything out on the table, you lose the intrigue. You become predictable. But when you pull back, when you leave a little to the imagination, they can't help but wonder, why aren't you responding? What are you doing with your time? You become an enigma, someone they can't quite figure out. And that is when they start to want you more. Mysterious energy is magnetic. 8. Redirect the obsession. Here's a game changer. Instead of obsessing over their every move, redirect that energy towards you. Obsessing over them only weakens your position. It makes you emotionally invested in someone who isn't reciprocating. Instead, channel your energy into self-growth. Get stronger. Get better. Work on what excites you, what drives you, what fills you up. When you do that, you become irresistible. And now, you'll notice the shift. They start wondering why you're not chasing them anymore. 9. Embrace emotional armor. You've got to put on emotional armor. This doesn't mean you stop feeling, but it means you stop letting their behavior affect your emotions. When they ignore you, you stand firm. You refuse to let their silence shake you. Emotionally, you become untouchable. You control your own feelings. You control how you respond. And when you stop reacting to their games, you show them how strong you really are. 10. Reclaim your masculine frame. This is where you take back your power. Stop waiting around for them to choose you. You need to start acting as though you are the prize. No more bending over backwards, no more playing by their rules. You set the standard, and they will either rise to meet it or walk away. When you embrace your masculine frame, you stop chasing. You become someone who commands respect. 11. Flip the script without words. Now it's time for a real power move. Flip the script without saying a word. Most people expect you to react, to chase after them, to try to fix things. But you're different. You don't need words to prove your worth. By choosing silence, you let your actions speak louder. You stop feeding their expectations. You stop the emotional back and forth. And in doing so, you regain control of the situation. Your silence is a message. I'm not playing by your rules anymore. 12. Invest in your next level. This is a critical move. Start investing in your own growth. Focus on what you can control. Your mind, your body, your career. The moment you stop obsessing over their actions, you start leveling up. You start moving forward, and they're left behind wondering, where did you go? Why are you so focused on your life now? Your growth becomes your magnet. People are drawn to progress, and they will start coming back, realizing they missed their chance to be part of your journey. 13. Let them chase shadows. At this point, you've moved beyond trying to fix things. Now it's time to let them chase shadows. Stop being easy to reach. Stop waiting by your phone. Disappear into your own world, and leave just enough breadcrumbs for them to follow. The more they try to reach out, the more they'll realize they can't have you so easily. They'll start chasing the version of you they lost. And in doing so, you've created a gap they can't cross. 14. Raise the standard. Now that they're chasing shadows, it's time to raise the standard. If they come back, they need to know that you're no longer available for mediocrity. You've raised your expectations, and they have to meet them. This is about respecting yourself enough to demand that others do the same. If they want to be part of your life, they have to bring value to it. 15. Own the ending. Finally, this is about you owning the ending, not waiting for them to decide. You don't need their closure. You don't need them to come back to feel whole. You are whole on your own. When you stop waiting for their validation, you start writing your own story. And in that moment, whether they return or not, you know one thing. You've leveled up. You've become the person who no longer needs to beg for attention, because you are the prize. If these strategies resonated with you, drop a comment below with, "I am the prize." It's time to stop playing small. You are irresistible, and you deserve someone who sees that. Subscribe to Stoic Wisdom for more powerful content, and let's continue leveling up together.